JFK has a wonderful quote where he says, "We must use time as a tool, not as a couch." And that's exactly what I want to talk to you about today, and that's time. Using your time effectively, not wasting it. Welcome to Kat's Novel Adventures. Last week, I participated in a time tracking challenge on Laura Vanderkam's website. She is the author of 168 Hours, and it's a fabulous, beneficial way of seeing where your time is going so that you can accomplish the things that you want to do. So today I want to share my results and what I learned from doing this time tracking challenge. So let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, like you, me, everyone, we all start off with the same amount of hours per week, 168 hours. So I went ahead and I looked at where the big chunks of time were taken out, and I spent 54.5 hours sleeping last week. I spent 35.5 hours working on content for YouTube, and that was from my channel as well as on Kelsey's channel, because she and I collaborate on projects throughout the year, and we are actually wrapping up a year-long project that we've been doing called Year of King. And on Sunday of this past week, we had our live stream chat about The Shining. And so there was a lot of components. We had the book to talk about, we had 2 movies, one for the big screen, one for made for television, and also a documentary called Room 237. So that was a lot of hours. In fact, of those 35.5 hours, 15.5 was spent watching those 3 films. When you combined those big 2 chunks of time out of my life, that left me with 78 hours for the remainder of the week. So what did I do with those 78 hours? How did I break that down? My morning routine is basically getting up, feeding my cats, taking my medicine, making a cup of coffee, and then bringing my dogs out to go to the bathroom. My morning routine is about 2 hours. In addition to that routine, I spent 4 hours getting dressed. When I did get dressed, no hours, no minutes, nothing spent on exercise, which I'm very sad about because I really need to exercise every day for good health. When it comes to meals, 12.5 hours were spent on prepping or cooking, and then also actually eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. As far as home or family logistics, this is what I called like tasks that I had to do, like paying bills or looking over my renewal policy for car insurance, and also physically being at the dentist for my dental appointment. My hours came out to be 7.25 hours, and the reason for that is our dentist is in Metairie, which is about an hour away from our home, and I went with my 2 boys. The good news is some of that time there was also helping me get my impression for my dental implant, which means I already crossed off 1 item off of my 23 for 2023 list, because that was the first one. It was to make that appointment, and they were able to combine it. So I'm super excited about that. And I just have to go back when the impression comes in, when they make me my crown. Not when the impression comes in, when the crown comes in. I already got the impression goes to wherever they make the crown. Okay. Chores. This was basically, for this week, was loading the dishwasher numerous times through the week, doing my laundry, taking care of the floor, so that's sweeping, vacuuming, mopping, and having trash put out in the evenings out on the curb, so that's emptying everything in the house and making sure that gets taken care of so they can pick it up on Tuesday. And then scooping the poop out the cat litter. That is my lovely chore. Travel time. Now, travel time includes any time I have to be in the car going from point A to point B. I had 9 hours and 9.25 hours, 9 hours and 15 minutes, I guess is the best way to say that. And that is a lot for me, but I actually had to go to Metairie 3 times this past week. Once to the dentist, once for improv, and also once to go to Kelsey's house to do our live stream. I also have an afternoon routine that looks a little bit different. That was 1.5 hours, and that's pet care for dogs and cats. Sometimes I might make a cup of coffee at that time. Outside time. This is a challenge that Gretchen Rubin created where you go outside for at least 23 minutes per day, and I'm participating in that this year. I spent 3 hours this week outside, and mainly it was because of the dogs, either taking them out, playing fetch with Luna, or taking Tootie for a little walk. So that was it for me with outside. I didn't really go outside to go read or to walk around in the neighborhood for my own health. I blogged 0 hours on blogging, no writing this week. Reading 1.75 hours, where I actually stopped, sat somewhere, and read my book. Now keep in mind, I did read a little bit when I was at the dentist office waiting for my boys while they were getting their teeth clean. So it's probably a little bit higher, but as far as just physically sitting somewhere and reading, my Goodreads total is 0 hours because I haven't even made it through one book yet. Marketing YouTube means basically anytime I am posting something on Instagram or on Facebook, letting people know what's released on my channel or if I released a new blog post. That was 2 hours. Evening routine, taking a shower nightly, taking my dogs out before I go to bed, and then actually prepping for bed. And that's pretty much putting things up, putting the remote control up, or picking up whatever I'm reading and putting it away, making sure my glasses are somewhere safe, and then, getting into bed. So all of that was 3 hours for the week. TV shows, movies, YouTube. Now, as far as sitting down and just watching YouTube, I only spent a half an hour. I watched 2 videos and only spent a half an hour on that. But I will let you know that I did some multitasking and a pairing strategy, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. All of my TV watching, watching movies on the TV had to do with my Year of King for this week. So I wouldn't put it in here because it wasn't like I did that purely for entertainment. I was doing that for a project. So that's why I had already separated that out. I did not nap any time this week, 0 hours. Errands and social events was 6 hours. I'll explain what that was. I do a birthday message project, first time this year. 3 hours was spent on that birthday message, which was actually sent to Kelsey. And then personal development was 4 hours and 15 minutes. And that includes my improv class, buddy reading with my sister, we're reading a book together, and then time tracking and any kind of self-care updates. So as far as the errands and social events go, I took a ride with Andrew to go pick up sushi for our dinner one evening. I figured that was good quality time to spend with him, and we went to go pick that up. So that was an errand to run, basically. Wednesday of last week, I ended up going to the post office and mailed a package. Then I also stopped afterwards at PJ's and got myself some coffee, mocha latte to be exact, which I love, and then some sausage, egg, cheese biscuits for me and the boys for breakfast. And that same day, Andrew and I rode together to go pick up chicken tenders at Cane's and brought it back to my mother-in-law's house because she treated us to a birthday lunch for me. And then for social events, I had my niece's bridal shower on Saturday, and then Kelsey and I had our live chat for The Shining. So as a result of all of that, 55 hours were spent on life responsibilities, 9.25 or 9 hours and 15 minutes were spent traveling, and a half of the hour was spent watching YouTube. in that category, for a total of 64.75 hours. So that left me with 13 hours and 15 minutes in my weekly bank of hours. What did I do with the last 13 hours and 15 minutes of my week? So, 5.5 hours were spent hanging out with family and friends. So this is in addition to like when you're eating dinner with each other or traveling in the car. So this might be like hanging out with Andrew, talking about, what's going on with him, or new characters we like, or what new anime show we're gonna watch together. My birthday was on Wednesday, so I spent 2 hours and 15 minutes answering, emails, texts, reading birthday cards I received, trying to respond to Facebook messages that I received, and I didn't even finish, so I need to go back and respond to some of those, because I think it's so awesome when people take the time to say a quick happy birthday. I think birthdays are great. They should be celebrated. You're alive. You're able to, do all kinds of wonderful things. I just love birthdays. Woohoo! And I made the big 54 this year. So lots of things I gotta get done. Also, 5.5 or 5.5 hours were spent playing Trivia Crack, scrolling through social media, mainly Instagram, texting, emailing, time tracking, or just puttering around the house. So, with all of that, my 168 hours was spent. What did I learn during this time tracking challenge? Well, regardless of the fact that this was my birthday week and that I was socializing with family and friends and preparing for a live stream for my Year of King project, I did devote time towards some of my aims on my 2023 list. And I'm super excited about that, because in the past when I've time tracked, it's always like I haven't had time to even start on that. So I was able to combine my already scheduled dental appointment for my dental cleaning with the, appointment to get the impression done. I've already said that. So bam, that's one item off my list. I created my first readathon for February and released an announcement video about it on my channel and social media. Bam, bam. I'm excited about that. And I finally registered for Laura Vanderkam's Tranquility by Tuesday, which I'm hoping to get another video out to explain what that's all about. And that means I've started reading her book, Tranquility by Tuesday. So triple bam. Bam, bam, bam. I'm like on fire. Now, with all that being said, and I'm all excited and wanting to pat myself on the back, I still had 5.5 hours I could have actually used more for reading, dealing with the digital clutter that I need to get rid of, or organizing spaces in my house. Remember, I need to get in my office. Puttering around the house doesn't necessarily mean it's wasted time. When I think about puttering around the house, that's like when you go get your mail from the mailbox and you need to look through it and see what you got and sort it. That's like writing a quick check for something, or putting a book back on a shelf, or taking out a bag of trash to your trash can. That's what I consider puttering. Like if you only have 10 minutes and you're about to leave the house, but you don't want to get started on anything big or major, because then you'll be late for whatever you're leaving the house for. It is for you to just be able to, get little tasks done, little minute, 2-minute tasks done at that time. So, additionally, I just want to also mention what I meant by the strategy of pairing. This is a strategy that Gretchen Rubin introduced in her Better Than Before book about habits. And I did that quite a bit. So when I say I only watched a half hour of YouTube, that meant that I sat down for a half an hour and specifically watched YouTube, did nothing else. I did watch some more YouTube videos last week, but I paired it when I was eating. So while I'm eating my breakfast, was watching a video. When I was eating lunch, I was watching a video. I did the same thing also with watching my movies. So my movie watching time would actually be more if I would not have eaten dinner a couple of nights in front of the television. So you got to keep that kind of stuff in mind. It was the same thing of me reading a little bit at the dentist office. I utilized that time for reading. So if I got an extra half hour at the dentist office, that's great, but it didn't take any other time away because I wasn't able to do anything else while I was at the office, if that makes sense. Also, I listen to podcasts and I talk on the phone. Both of those activities were paired nicely with me driving in the car. When I'm talking on the phone, I'm hands-free, I'm paying attention, but it's a good way for me to catch up. I have a long period of time to do that. And then I can listen to my podcast. I did podcast a couple of times too. So I just try to find ways that I can pair when I can, because I do think that is a great time-saving strategy. You may be surprised to know that I am time tracking again this week because last week was an unusual week. So I need to see what happens when my week is not filled with a lot of appointments or projects, because then I might have a better idea of how much more I can get done in that time period. Also, I learned that I really want a more structured routine for my mornings and possibly even during the day. I need to be realistic about where my time is going, and I want to be a better steward of my time. So, with all of that information that I'm throwing at you, don't know if you're interested in this or not. I hope it wasn't too boring to you. It's super exciting to me because it motivates me, it inspires me to want to, just improve in some way so that I can just be more productive and accomplish more. Because like I said, I'm 54, I'm not a spring chicken, and I have a lot of things I want to do with my life. Don't know if you decided to time track. If you did, I would love to know. Please, please, please let me know if you time track. You can email me at catloyacano@gmail.com, and I'd love to know if you did it for this week while I was doing it, or if you've ever time tracked in the past. It fascinates me. I think it's very, very cool. And also, I was able to fill out a survey for Laura Vanderkam. We filled out a survey at the beginning to show interest that we wanted to do it and what we were hoping to gain from the challenge. And then at the end, I was able to fill out the survey about what I learned. And I really like that kind of stuff as well. And it benefits her in, her research and what she's doing, for a future book, perhaps. I don't know. So I am about to say goodbye, I promise this time. Be on the lookout. I want to share the project for Tranquility by Tuesday that's coming up. I have a special little tag that I'm in the process of creating, and I am working on my TBR for Folklore February, which our readathon will be starting on the 1st of February. So in the meantime, stay amazing and be adventurous.